and things like that. So of the pitfalls that you see over the next pass on when the pandemic's going to end, but as we emerge from it, and let's big assumption that there isn't, future lockdown or aren't future lockdowns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fingers crossed. But pass. I think Sajid is pretty keen that there won't be. But yeah, yet to be proven. In terms of the next 18 months, 2 years as a timeline, how does this evolve as people start to think about interest rates potentially rising, bounce back loan schemes potentially needing to be repaid? Are we looking at the start of an avalanche?
Yes. The question to end all questions
there we go.
Is get my crystal ball out and predict the future. So if we go back to when the pandemic first started, I'm not an economist, but all economists thought there was going to be this wave of insolvencies. And why wouldn't you when, let's be honest, the economy was closing down? So it would lead to make you think that if there's no revenue, that businesses aren't going to survive. Obviously, the government stimulus came in, we had the C-bill scheme and all those sorts of things, and whether, you think there was enough or too little investment, the reality is that investment staved off that, that kind of raft or tsunami of insolvencies, whatever you want to call it. But what we're now left with, rather than impending doom, which is what we had back in kind of 2020 when all these stimulus schemes came into play, is we've now got unknown future volatility, all those things, unpredictability, everything that you don't really want when you're trying to manage risk. We've got that now because no one really knows what we're going to go back to. You obviously mentioned around interest rates. That's almost seen as a bit of a dirty word at the moment, but we don't really know what it's going to look like. We don't know how much they're going to rise by. We'll assume they're going to rise, but don't quote me on that because I'm not an economist. But it looks like they're going to. So it depends what impact that has on the bottom line. And then you've got things around lockdown economics at the moment is a term which a lot of people are using to describe the way in which we're spending currently, whether that's through forced decisions or unforced. The question will be, when we reopen, how much of it was personal choice and how much of it was because we were told to do it? So there's going to be a lot of businesses out there that are trying to forecast turnovers and they don't really know what their consumers are going to, what their customers are going to do. So volatility is going to be massive. And I sound like a stuck record, but it just comes down to knowing your customer base and doing what you can to protect. I mean, I know me and you obviously were talking earlier, but one of the things that I don't like with our industry in terms of credit insurance is it gets called bad debt protection, which I hate, because for me that's the wrong way round of looking at things, because that's basically saying I know it's going to happen, so I want to protect myself when it happens. Whereas the way I see it is it's about opportunity protection, because it's doing what you can to grow your business and grow sales safely with knowing that you've got that safety net and that protection and that information. But it's about avoiding a bad debt. It's not about the insurer paying it out when it happens.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, from a risk perspective, we see it obviously in the FX markets, and we would say, one of the biggest unknown costs will be the cost of your foreign exchange rate, unless you've got it locked in. So it's not about thinking, it's going to go down, I need to get this protection in place. It's about, this is where I know I'm doing business. This is the comfort that I've got my margin should things turn south.
Yeah.
But then let's go and drive the business forward.